Hello everybody, John Abella from RedwoodOutdoors.com. I'm coming at you today from my table, and we are going to be doing a product unbagging. This is a package from ZPacks.com, and I will be taking this outside and setting this up so everybody can see. That'll just be my backyard right now because, like I said, I'm at home. Whoa. Wow. This feels so thin. This is just crazy. And yes, I do mean that. This is crazy. I think this is an extremely risky tarp. So the real stress point here is, of course, the tie-out corners. And that's how they've done 0.34 Cuben fiber tie-outs. Looks like a single fold back. Yeah, that looks like a single fold back. Triple stitch there. Extra light tie-outs, and of course the ZPacks logo. Alright everybody, I'm going to be doing some voiceover here. It was really noisy background, from neighbors and cars driving by and that kind of thing, so I apologize for the voiceover audio here. What I'm doing at this particular point in time, this is the first time I've actually taken the tarp outside. So I'm just basically wanting to see how see-through this particular Cuben fiber is. As you can see, it's fairly easy to, I know it's out of frame, but sorry about that. But as you can see, it's fairly easy to see through this 0.34 Cuben fiber. Which isn't a big deal. Anybody that's into the SUL, XUL hiking doesn't really care about privacy all that much anyway. What I'm doing is I'm using my Gossamer Gear LT4 hiking poles. They are set up at the standard tarp height. They are identical heights on both sides. My guy lines are 8 feet long on the ends, and the sides are 3 feet long for all 6. The way that I'm connecting this at this point, because I'm not wanting to do any type of major attachments to the tarp until I become confident with using this 0.34 Cuben fiber material, I've attached mitten clips to the end of all of my guy lines. So rather than tying the guy lines directly onto the loops of the tarp, I'm actually using the mitten hooks to attach into the tarp loops themselves. And again, I'm doing that strictly to make sure that I don't do any permanent damage to this material first time out of the gate. Alright, so at this point I have the tarp fully set up. As you can see, it's not set up perfectly, but again, this is the first time I've set this tarp up. And I'm wanting to be very careful that I don't apply any undue stress to the threads and seams at this point in time. I am using the mini micro clips to help with the guy lines tightening and loosening up. Also note that the tarp is not a catenary cut, it is a straight line. I decided to not go with a catenary cut so that I could multi-use this particular tarp in other situations. However, as I look back on it, I shot this video a couple days ago, and I've already spent 2 nights underneath this tarp. And looking back on it, I think I probably should have gone with a catenary cut just to be able to solve that top line from being as loose as it is. What I'm doing there at this point in the video is simply checking the thread areas to make sure that the seams are holding, that there's not any tearing of the seams because I have the tarp set up too tight. And at this point I'm just trying to get an idea for how long the 9-foot tarp is with me underneath it. I have other 9-foot tarps, so I had a pretty good idea. I also went with the 6-foot wide tarp. Everybody else that I know that has the 0.34 Cuben fiber tarps went with the 4-foot wide, and one person went with a 3-foot wide tarp. I went with a 6-foot wide tarp because I'm intending to use this not only in the summer but in the winter season, which is what we're getting into here quickly. I wanted to be able to have the wider tarp, to help push out the rain a little bit. I figure it added about 1/3 amount of the weight by going with a 6-foot wide tarp. And it was just a choice I made to be able to use this during the winter season. Alright, in this section of video what I want to show is me pulling the stakes off of the guy lines and onto the tarp itself to give the ultimate in weather protection mode. For this particular situation I'm only doing the front side of the tarp. I'm not staking out the back side of the tarp to the ground, just for sake of this particular initial setup of this tarp. You're really going to be doing this in really, really bad weather when you've got rain that's just pouring in from the side because of directional rain flow. What you can see here is, the tarp very quickly goes from guy lines to directly staking to the ground, and it stays pretty tight material-wise. And, you do lose a little bit of room, but not a whole lot. But again, you're really only going to do this if, the weather is really, really bad. Yeah, that's about it. I guess, you could also do it if you want to save yourself, an ounce or two of guy line weight. Alright, in this final section of video, what I want to show is that one of the things I like to do is angle the hiking pole towards the inner part of the tarp and then angle it towards the side of the tarp. This gives me a great deal of shoulder room to be able to get inside and out of easier, to be able to sit there and look out my tarp without the pole being in the way. You end up having to take your hiking pole and extending it out a little bit longer. The shot cord that I'm playing with right there is used to hold up the head netting off of the bivvy to be able to get the netting up off of my face while I'm sleeping. I just attach it to my guy line to be able to get it out of the way. As you can see here in this quick set of videos, by angling out the pole, you don't lose any rigidity. It's very tight and it's not going to go anywhere, even in some really, really strong wind and downpour. And, in the end, the best thing to do after setting up a tarp is getting underneath it and taking a nap. And with that, I'm going to close out this video. I want to thank ZPacks.com for pushing out this 034 Cuben fiber 9x6 tarp to me. And I think that's going to be it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Once again, John Abella from RedwoodOutdoors.com.